Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about mobile apps and best practices for how to apply mobile apps in oil and gas industry. Now, we're all using mobile apps in our personal lives. We're all familiar with email and browsing and so on. So today what I want to do is really focus on how to apply mobile app technology, smartphones and tablets, specifically for business, specifically for field operations to help accelerate, save money, and so on. So we're going to review best practices that are utilized by leading oil and gas companies. And my goal today is for you to walk away with specific ideas for implementation in your companies, right? I want to make sure that I give you very concrete, very tangible advice that you can use in your jobs. So first, let me share some stats with you, some interesting stats. Oil and Gas IQ publication, they polled CIOs of oil and gas companies, and basically what they found is that mobile technology is number 2 of the 10 top priorities, right? So clearly it's getting a lot of attention. A lot of executives are paying a lot of attention to mobile app technology. 55% of respondents basically believe that it would greatly enhance their operations. But interestingly, only 16% to date have employed mobile app strategies. So I would say that we're still in the early stages, very rapidly accelerating, people adopting mobile apps, but still in the early stages of it. And so let's talk about how to apply it. So first and foremost, kind of to level set everybody, I want to make sure that we're all very clear on what is the fundamental mobile app technology and how does it work and what you can take advantage of. Because once you understand how the technology works, then I'm going to be able to present ideas to you for how people are implementing it, and you'll be able to come up with your own ideas for how you can use it in the business. So first and foremost, the tablets, smartphones, but tablets specifically, is absolutely the best device ever created for field operations. It's portable, it's in your hand, it's equipped with camera so that you can capture photos. You can capture audio and video recording, as the picture suggests. So very, very quick, very efficient for capturing data, right? Note taking, easy. You can scan barcodes, QR codes very quickly. With the press of a button, you can capture your exact location on the map and your GPS coordinates, date and timestamp information, capture current weather conditions, where you're located. The device has so many sensors. I mean, I'm just mentioning here a few, and there is, accelerometer. There are a lot of sensors that are just built in into tablets that you can take advantage of. Weather conditions, while you're in the field, you can review the documents. You don't have to go back to the office to get on a computer to do it. Capturing signatures, what a great way. You probably have used many apps where you get the PDF document and you can just, instead of printing it, signing it, scanning it back, you can just click, put your finger on the field, and add a signature. I mean, nothing can be simpler, right? And reporting. This device is in your hands the entire day practically, right? And it's with you. So when you need to get to information, you can look at reports wherever you are, whenever you want to. Reporting becomes so much easier. It really takes it to the whole other level. Now, when you do your implementations of mobile app technology, you really want to make sure, especially in this industry, that you, whatever apps you're using, support online and offline capability, right? Because it's great if it works in the office when there's internet, but you really want to make sure that your apps can work offline. You know, when you're out in the field, when you're on the oil rig, when you could still do these functions with your device, right? So from an implementation perspective, it's really important. So this is core technology, right? Core technology that you can leverage with smartphones and tablets, right? So very first thing that people do is, the picture says it all there, right? There's a stack of paper that we've all seen this before. This is not a new movie. Stack of paper with lots of information, and dealing with it is time-consuming. Printing forms, as you probably know, costs a lot of money. Shipping these forms, distributing these forms, all of this, in 2014 really can be eliminated, right? And with substantial savings, right? You don't have to print the paper. You don't have to print these forms. You don't have to ship them. You can enter the information once and have the information automatically saved and transmitted to where it needs to go, right? As opposed to having to fill out the forms, bring them back to the office, having to retype, re-entry this information. I mean, it's just, it saves an incredible amount of time. It improves accuracy, right? We all know how forms come back with people scribbling illegibly. Nothing could be more frustrating, right, than to try to figure out somebody's handwriting. When you do these forms electronically inside the app, the whole process becomes so much quicker and easier, right? So one of the first places where people start is just really identifying the areas where paper forms can be replaced with mobile forms inside the apps. Once you capture the data, right? Once you capture the data, you can then immediately start using it. It can be emailed to co-workers and management, right? So they can see it, they can get your latest status, they can act on it. It can be stored in databases for viewing and reporting. That's the natural, right? That's once you collect the information, why are you collecting it? So that you can use it, right? So reporting becomes really important. It can be as simple as collect the information, create PDFs out of it, put it on cloud drives so that others can have access to it. People in the field can see it. Just about every mobile device can access cloud storage. People in the office can get to the information because, you can just, any desktop will get to a cloud storage and open the files, right? Or you can be more sophisticated, take the data and send it into corporate systems, right? The front-end systems, back-end systems, so that, basically the entire organization can benefit from this, right? So the fancy term for this is workflows, but basically what it means is once I collect the data, what can I do with that data? And there's lots of ways that you can immediately start making use of that data in your projects, right? So one of the most obvious ways that this kind of technology can be used is to improve safety and overall performance, right? I mean, think about how much easier it is to ensure quality, right? To inspect your assets, right? To compile the information that you need for safety inspections and audits, and to accelerate compliance, right? It's, compliance is very data intensive. There are companies out there that are basically have accelerated it in terms of collection of information, very quickly reviewing it, turning it into compliance documentation for reporting to state and federal authorities. All of this can be done so much quicker and easier without having to deal with paper. The other really neat use of the technology is to track work progress, workforce, and assets, right? It's at your fingertips. Imagine being able to see basically where the work is done, to be able to see current status of any project in the field, what's going on there, to understand where your assets are and understand what state that they're in. So you're having real-time or close to real-time information, right, which will lead to faster decision-making. If you make decisions faster, oftentimes what that results in is you can improve service to your customers. You can remedy emergency situations faster, and save time, and ultimately, of course, all of this leads to saving money. So being able to see what's going on in the field and get the information just in time, the information that you need to be able to act on it, is very powerful. Another way, of course, you could use this technology is to understand exactly what your inventory is when you're dealing with assets out there, right? The camera that's built into the device can be used for scanning barcodes, scanning QR codes. So immediately, you can be out in the field, scan the code, retrieve the information that you need. For example, you're out in the field, you need to perform a repair. Instead of searching for information that you need to do the task, have the information come to you, right? It's just sort of a just-in-time information. What kind of a asset is it? What do we need to do to fix it? Where are the parts? I mean, you can use these devices to not only to collect accurately what's out there, but also be able to retrieve pertinent information so that you have it when you need it. Clearly this speeds up inspections and audits, right? I mean, just think about how slow a process it is to do inspection with a with a pad of paper, or to drag your laptop and camera to the field. Here in one device you have what you need, right? You can very quickly capture it. You can do it quicker. You can definitely improve the accuracy, and you can lower the cost, right? And so as a result, more inspections can be performed, or they can be performed with a lot less effort that you're currently doing it today. Receiving daily reports, right? I mean, when people are working in the field, when there's a pretty complex operation, just knowing what's going on and what's important, are there any critical issues that are taking place on a daily basis, that would really help management in better decision making and enable it to actually happen, as opposed to how oftentimes it happens today when somebody forgets to send the email, or they forget to call, or they forget to send in the paperwork to update status, or the paperwork is ineligible. So it's being able to receive the information at the end of every day, to know the status, is really, really useful. It will also help you reduce service costs, right? Again, time is money, right? So the more timely information you get, the better decisions you can make. This lowers the cost of compliance. This allows you to schedule your workforce and your assets more efficiently, right? If you can make these decisions quicker, you're utilizing your people in the field better and your equipment better, right? So timely information has direct correlation to saving money. Think about how much quicker you can respond to equipment failure and outages in the field. You know, same scenario, right? You get timely information. The team can, not just one individual, multiple individuals, the team can assess, have a rapid response, and you know, the quicker you can address the situation, the quicker you can, you know, improve safety, avoid serious problems down the road, you know, and ultimately all of this, of course, saves time and saves money, right? So being able to respond to timely information to avoid equipment failure and outages is really important. So switching gears and to talk about, you know, how much does these apps cost? So a survey was done by AnyPresence in 2013, and you know, they basically found that the apps can be pretty pricey, right? When company does in-house development or outsources mobile apps to third parties, you know, roughly they could be spending $50,000 plus, and oftentimes over $100,000. And it takes time to create these apps, right? They're not simple, they're not easy, and it takes time, and because when these apps are created, you know, with sort of traditional technology, with programmers writing code, it's not a simple task. So let me introduce Snappii to you. So what we've done at Snappii is we've created a platform which allows us to build mobile apps much quicker and do them in such a way that business people can build apps. We created a platform which really accelerates mobile app development and at the same time does not require business people to have any kind of programming skills, right? So we build apps like the ones that I've shown in the presentation, typically in the $10,000 range, which is much more affordable. Our typical implementation time is a week to 2 weeks because we do this without writing any code. This is sometimes you can build apps yourself, or we can build them with you. We work a number of different ways. We have the most mobile apps for oil and gas industries in the App Store. We're a leader in apps. You can, if you go into Apple App Store or Android App Store, type in oil and gas or type in Snappii, you'll see a lot of our apps that you can immediately download and start using in your operations. We can customize any of these apps for you, or we can build new apps as you need them. So at the end of the presentation is our contact information. I'm going to hang around to pause and take some questions from you. If you want to get a copy of the presentation, let us know and we'll make that available to you. So if you have some questions, go ahead and enter them in the questions section. And I'll open that and I'll try to field some questions. Okay, one of the questions, we're getting right into the sort of the weeds. So hybrid apps versus native apps. What is it and what's the difference, and can they be used in the field? So a hybrid app is an app that's built with web-based technology. The advantage of hybrid apps is that they work on various devices and you can just create one version of it. The disadvantage is that they're browser specific. So what that means is they don't always work on all devices, and they look different. I personally would not recommend hybrid apps in oil and gas industry for one important reason, and that's offline mode. These apps are built with a browser in mind. They're relying on internet connection to be present, right? When internet connection is not there, hybrid apps don't work, right? So it's better to have native apps that you can utilize in your activities because they are specifically designed for the device, and it's much easier for developers of these apps to make them work in offline mode. Okay, another question is, do you integrate with Google Maps? Yes, we do. We built many apps that directly integrate with Google Maps. It shows where the location is. We have directions capability. We have nearby capability, so that you can figure out, for example, where, what location is the nearest to you, and make decisions based on that. So yes, we integrate directly with mobile apps. Are any of our apps possible on the Windows platform? Not yet. We currently support Android and Apple technology. That is something that is on our roadmap, but no, at the moment we don't support Windows platform. Okay, and another question is, what's a typical project? How do you get started? Right, so you can get started basically by just contact us and talk to us about your ideas and your needs. It's often best to for us to spend a little bit of time advise you on what your options are. We have a lot of experience. We build, literally hundreds of apps, so that we can, give some guidance, give some advice, talk it out, right? And then based on that, you can decide, do you want to try to build the app yourself? And we can teach you to do that on Snappii platform, or we'll build the app for you. Or another thing that very often happens is we build the first couple of apps with you, and we train you in the process. And then once you're confident on using the platform, then you can maintain the apps yourself, and you can be self-sufficient, right? Ultimately, what we would like for all of our customers is to be able to be self-sufficient. So you can update the apps anytime you want. You can make changes anytime you want. We're there to help you, but you can do this without having to, wait for IT department, or without having to wait for developers, whether it's in-house or outsourced. The best possible option, we believe, is when we enable business people to be able to make changes in the apps according to your needs. The next question is, are our apps integrated with ERP systems? Yes, the built-into Snappii is a RESTful connector. So that basically enables us to, out of the box, without having to write any additional code, to communicate with most of the ERP and CRM systems. For example, there's a built-in connector for Salesforce that you can start using immediately, and start retrieving data to and sending data from. So that's possible. Somebody asked for an example of a customer success story. Sure. So we serve customers from large Fortune 1000 companies to small operations, 5 and 10 people, doing drilling and so on. So one example is of a large Fortune 1000 company is a marketing department wanted to create an app to be able to get information out to the field quickly and easily, and also not only to their own employees but also to the dealership network. And basically, they faced the choice of they looked into what it would cost us to outsource this app development, and it was something like $80,000 to build an app. Well, they decided that was too much. They didn't want to spend that much money. They also knew that waiting for IT department was going to be very time-consuming, to say the least, right? I mean, the backlog in IT is huge. They weren't going to get to the project anytime soon. So they found Snappii. They liked the fact that they can build these apps without writing code. We gave them some training. There was one individual there that was proficient with Salesforce, actually. Salesforce administrator was another of her duties. About a week of training on the platform, she was able to build this app, and this app is currently used, by over 5,000 people in the field. So that's probably a good example of how we work. Another question came in about integration with Microsoft Dynamics. Yeah, so yeah, the RESTful connectors. REST is the industry standard for integrating to systems. So yes, Microsoft Dynamics supports REST and SOAP integrations, and yes, we can connect to Microsoft Dynamics. Good questions. Okay. Another question is how easy or difficult is it to make the changes in these apps, right? So we designed Snappii platform to be really business people friendly, right? As I said, there's no coding involved. Basically, the way you build apps and change apps is by drag and drop, dragging and dropping components, assembling them in the way that you want it to work, and then configuring, right? Configuring their properties so you get the behavior that you need. So it's very easy. I mean, it's it's something that if you spend a little bit of time on, you can basically build anything, right? The system gives you sort of an open canvas, and you can assemble it. You have total control over the user interface. You can control the flow of the application, how the data is collected, all of the interfaces, how you connect to it. All of this is done with the same drag, drop, and configure approach, right? So the other thing that I should point out is we built into the Snappii platform a mechanism to enable you to distribute app changes very quickly. I mean, that is literally done with a click of a button. You can make the change. Let's say I wanted to update a form. There's a new field, new requirement. I can go in, add this field, click Save, click Publish, and all of my users, all of my app users are going to get notification that there's a new version available, right? And be able to immediately update the app on their device, right? You don't have to go through approval process. It's really quick and really easy. Okay, another question is, how does pricing, licensing work when you integrate with third-party features, Google Maps, for example? So in case of Google Maps, that's something that we take care of internally. You don't have to worry about it. If we are integrating with an ERP CRM systems, that again, typically there as a customer of that system, you have access to their programmatic interfaces. So the licensing is taken care of by, you being basically a customer of, let's say, Salesforce or SAP or whatever the system we're trying to integrate with. So, most of the time there aren't any licensing issues when it comes to integration. Another question is, how long does it take to kind of see the first app running on a device? With Snappii platform, it is literally, a day or two. You can build the first version, create a prototype, essentially, share the prototype with your team or your customers, whoever needs to use the app, and start getting feedback immediately, right? And be able to take that input and make changes. So you can very quickly prototype, make changes, prototype, make changes. Well, one of the things in our experience is when you're working with mobile apps, there's going to be a lot of changes, right? It's, it's still new to people. To get the interface just right, to really understand what your customer needs are, is a process, and it's an iterative process. It's very difficult to kind of guess ahead and know exactly what they want, right? People have a hard time visualizing it, and they can only give you feedback once it's running on their device, right? Once they actually try it. So the platform is designed for lots of rapid prototyping, feedback change, generating new versions. We believe that is absolutely the best way to deliver an app that people will actually use, right? As opposed to kind of, the more traditional development methods, sort of non-agile methods of taking information and then showing up with something in 6 months, and then they look at it and they go, no, that's not what we wanted, right? So we're big believers in agile development, rapid prototyping, and lots of tweaking to get it just right for the customer. Okay, I think that, great questions. Again, I would encourage you to contact us. I have our phone number and the email and the website information there. So please contact us. We would love to discuss specifics of your projects with you. Give you some guidance, give you some advice, and hopefully help you with implementations of these projects. So thank you very much for coming today, and hope to speak with you soon.